guy I really appreciate, and I stay clear. Oh, it's that thing that they got an argument over AD at the resort, and it got to a big thing. She made a joke, and then Jeremy
Oh
reported back.
yeah, that whole misunderstanding. I felt like it was so ridiculous.
I'm curious to have AD's.
Yeah.
AD's been silent throughout all of this, and I think that's the best way to react. Just like you can have thoughts, but just
Yeah.
keep them to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. There's that famous saying, I'd rather be perceived as stupid than open my mouth and prove it.
Exactly. Right. Oh, let's talk about.
Oh, hi, Trevor.
Hey, Trevor. Look at him. Beefcake. 90s beefcake.
Yeah. He's huge.
He is huge. Oh, he's got
At least
such
he
a
got rid of
kind
that mullet.
face.
Although his haircut, no, wait, what does he have now? Like his haircut is still very weird. Sorry, we're not here to criticize haircuts, are we?
No.
What is that? You see another girl who comes out and was like, he was my boyfriend at the same time. So easy to fabricate, though.
Yeah.
Like, who's like, are they actually? I don't know. Is anyone checking these texts to authentic?
Oh, but
What's the word?
his
Authenticize?
Trevor's facial reactions to this whole exchange. Wow. I'm so happy I'm not aware about all of this because I'm just like, oh my God, the drama.
I know it's so cringe, though. I find it so ridiculous though that they would do that. Like, they would put up the text and go, you like shame him like that. It feels so petty and childish.
Mm.
Or maybe it's needed, like if he really did it. Oh well, he's too calculate, like he's taking too much time to respond. So like it must be somewhat true.
Yeah.
Otherwise he would have been straight away. What is that the plan? No, it didn't happen. Or, I'm sorry, or it must have happened then.
Maybe he signed up to the show and then met someone in between in the meanwhile.
Maybe.
Janina's reactions are just on point. She's just, oh
Yeah.
my God, the drama. She knows that she's getting
Yeah.
camera time
Finally,
if she
it's not
gets strong
mine.
reactions.
Yeah. Oh, Kwame, I love his oh, that's exactly it. Just don't understand why the other woman would go online and share it like that. Like even if he did something wrong, whatever, why not confront him in person, like personally between you two? I really don't understand. This is what I hate about social media these days. People just
Yeah.
feel the need to shame others online. And even if they are terrible people, what's the point? Why? Why do you feel
Yeah.
that? Because yes, they're terrible, but you're just as terrible for having to shame them online in front of the world.
Yeah.
I don't see any good reason to that. Why? Unless you want the
Yeah.
clout as well.
I was gonna say you want to allow people the possibility to fuck up.
Yeah.
However, if they never get called up on it, then they kind of feel that they can get away with it. So I'm on, I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm in two minds.
No, look, you should get called out on it, but I don't understand why she had to do that so publicly. Why couldn't she just come to him and speak to him and do that? Like, why does she have to do it in front of the whole world? I mean, we all screw up, we all make these kind of mistakes. And
Yeah.
like, why does she feel the need to do it in front of the world?
That Chelsea is I had this
Yeah,
situation why I
that
shouldn't
sounds
pick you.
like some load of bull crap.
It is, yeah.
This is what I don't like, is that he's not coming on there and trying to justify himself. He looks ashamed of himself. He looks like he's beating himself up enough as it is. And then they come and attack him even more. I feel like
Mm,
that's just, I don't know. I just don't like that tactic of like shaming someone even more than they already feel. Yeah.
I
When
think
when
it's
no one's trusting you, then get someone who they do trust to stick up for you.
yeah, that's fair. And I think, it's he didn't come out engaged, and he didn't come out like, yes he asked, he did he even ask? I mean, I
No.
understand what they mean. Like, you would have gotten engaged and you would promise somebody else, and there was drama and blah blah blah. And I get what they're feeling,
Yeah.
but it just, it didn't happen. So he's ashamed of himself. He's just like, oh my God, the world is judging me and things like that. He feels bad. There's no point in rubbing salt in the wound.
Yeah.
He didn't, he wasn't married when he came
Mm-hmm.
to this thing. You know, he wasn't, you know, and she was okay with it. And he was gonna stay. So I agree. The fact that somebody else was kind of concerning, somebody else was okay with this is a bit concerning. You know, you want to have some self-esteem of like not accepting this from your partner. But
Yeah.
you know, he's like,
Yeah.
I'm sure that he would have been honest with Chelsea about it if she had said yes to him and they would have gotten to the honeymoon stage or like the Mexico holiday stage. I'm sure
Yeah.
he would have told her. I'm sure, like he would just have.
Oh, yeah. I think he only continued it in those texts happened after he left the show. And that at
Yeah,
that point he knew that he wasn't engaged to anyone, you know?
yeah, exactly. Oh, God, it's not fair. You need to get over
Oh, come
yourself.
on,
It's not
Nick.
fair.
He's so dramatic.
He is just
Trevor
really
did
what
want. I mean, he was just like so confused.
you know.
Yeah,
It's
he's walking out, and I can understand why. Like people are just not, they're just shaming him. It really isn't fair.
yeah, it's horrible.
God.
You because if you're not genuine, blah blah blah, then you don't accept people who have been divorced, and you don't
Yeah,
accept people because you know people because you can always argue the fact that you know if they're divorced and they don't believe in marriage,
yeah.
and
No,
and
they're
that's
really
not true.
unfair of how they are. Yeah,
You know, and I would that's just I don't believe what I just said. But if you're going to talk about genuine blah blah blah, then you just you know you give people a second chance.
yeah, it really isn't. It's so strange to have to watch yourself have a meltdown on live.
I don't know that I would. I mean, I'm not planning to
I
go on
wouldn't
this show,
rewatch it though.
but I don't know that I
Yeah,
would watch it. I would watch it
yeah,
if you know if I were in Amy's shoes or in Jessica's shoes, I would rewatch it. But
yeah.
reliving the wedding, I wouldn't. I don't know.
No, no. Maybe just to understand or see the other side, or just to, I
Mm.
don't know.
Oh, he is. I felt like he feels like he disrespected her family, and I was like, it's
That's
so
just, it's part of the process.
yeah. I think you would have disrespected them if you married her and then divorced her.
I like the way he expresses himself, though. He's just very calm, cool, and collected.
He's got
You
that.
know?
So we are talking about Clay and AD. We've been talking about Clay and AD for a couple of
Yeah,
minutes now. Um, he's got that very suave way of expressing himself.
yeah, yeah. But it's easy to look back and say I made a mistake, but that's what you felt in the moment. You know, you can't look back and say I should have done this, that, and the other. That's really what you generally felt in that moment.
Yeah, and therefore I don't think it's a mistake. I think I think you can, you know, feel like I don't want to lose her and we'll see I love you. So sweet. But I think if he followed his heart at that right moment, he did exactly what he needed to do, even though it's tough. Yeah, it's not too fair. It's not fair that
They
him
are
saying that it was a
together.
mistake.
Look at that smile. They are
Yeah.
together. No, no, maybe not. That was kind of like a,
Pauline is so invested. She's just
I
like, oh my
know,
God.
I know.
No, I think I'm curious to see everybody else's reactions because he handled himself extremely well.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit disappointed that she's kind of has closed off. And it's funny because I
Mm-hmm.
was talking about this weekend with JT. We had a bit of an argument this weekend. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Ooh.
Kind of an argument about a big argument about just like kids and his daughter, and it was tough.
Yeah.
And I was kind of, and so we slept in different beds, and then the next day I was just kind of thinking, I'm so
Mm-hmm.
I'm so hard on him because I think I let things in previous relationships, I let so many things slide that,
Yeah.
hey, Riff, I let so many things slide in previous relationships that kind of led to
Yeah.
downfalls. And now
Mm-hmm.
and I told him, it's like, I don't want you to pay for what past men have done to me. And so
Yeah.
I'm just kind of so harsh on him. And I think this is what's happening with AD, of like maybe she's let so many things slide that she's not going to let anything slide anymore. And I think this is where you want to have a bit of a balance,
Yeah.
and I think this is where you want to go with your heart and not with your head.
Yeah. it reminds me of an argument that Zev and I had in the very beginning of our relationship, where I kind of said to him, I feel like you're not arguing with me. You're saying things to me that make no sense. It feels like
Mm,
you're arguing with someone else, because he was still in that defensive mode
yeah,
and reacting to things that happened in other relationships rather than what's actually happening now. And I think she just has a hard time seeing it that it's about him and not about her or them.
yeah.
Or maybe she just doesn't want him enough, because if she really wanted him, maybe she would, you know?
I think with yeah, I think with marriages, you don't, there's nothing that forces you to rush into a wedding.
Yeah.
With moving in together and with having children, you have biology and you have finance kind of things, but a marriage and things like that, you kind of, you just want to give yourself some time. And I'm not saying rush into having kids or rush into moving with somebody, but here it is just
80s mom. Even he appreciates the pearl wisdom that came from 80s mom.
yeah, they're good. I also, I was going to say this about Sarah and Jeremy, of just, but that I didn't. But I was going to say, you want to leave, maybe you want to have the reunion of Love Is Blind and then think about your relationship. Just get all of the Netflix drama out of your lives, because
Yeah.
you've got Cameron and I can't remember her name. I think it's Camille. I'm not sure. And then Amber and
Yeah.
Barnett. They're not here, and I think it's just, and they work because I think they've just let go of
They've
Netflix.
let go of the drama, and yeah.
And I think that's healthy. And I think maybe AD, because AD had to go through it and then relive it with the shows coming out, and and people's reactions and opinions, and then she knew that this was coming. So I think there's a bit of a defense, and I think after this episode, maybe they've got all of their chances to make it work again. um
Yeah.
but I think while this all goes,
Yeah.
you don't have time to digest it. Everything keeps kind of
Mm-mm.
being moved around.
Yeah. But at least I get to let it out.
I think we've
Oh,
talked about this before. I think we don't, as you know, white, light-skinned women, we don't really understand what it means to be black in the States.
no, we don't. I know that also in America, it's like a huge issue. Like they have this
Yeah.
whole thing about it. You see, that's the problem, is they're all so concerned at how they will show up in this experiment and how people perceive them. I think it
Mm,
really gets in the way of the whole thing. And it's why so many couples, yes, there are some couples that worked out, but so many more couples could have worked out if they weren't so concerned about what people at home were going to say. Like, I mean, look how much drama they're receiving, how much hate they're getting. It's,
yeah.
it really is